morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday or happy Friday, depending if you have me um, on your odd periods or your even periods. But go ahead and go to classwork. Today's check-in is under week 3. It's called 413 Rules and Graphs. So once you click on it, once you've started an activity, it'll tell you to continue. I had already started. I got paused and had to come back. But like I said, I'm doing okay. I'm just a bit concerned because my daughter's getting sick. So I hope she gets better and it's just a regular cold, nothing big. So as a mom, I would say that's the worst thing you like. You don't like it, but that's the worst thing you experience, seeing your child sick or going through something. But something positive and that's totally non-related to Olivia or anything. It's all of you, your map testing. For a lot of you, for math, I saw that you did go up, you did meet your goal. And so I want to congratulate, those that did, and then encourage those that still haven't. But we're waiting on everyone to finish testing. Some people did not get to finish, and they're still making up those tests. And so next week I will be announcing, who went up and just really acknowledging them, because it's awesome that you did. And if you didn't, don't feel discouraged, because you still have one more test to take. Okay. So we'll talk about that next week, but good job to all of you. If you have been improving even if you improved on both of them, that's amazing, on math and reading. So spin the spinner. You're going to spin it twice. I already did. So I'm just going to show you, what it does. But basically the first time I spun it, I got 12. Now I got negative 1,000. And the second time I spun it, I got 5. Then I added them and I multiplied them. So 12 plus 5 was 17, and 12 times 5 is 60. There's nothing to it. Again, if you want to do it, again, here I got 1,000. And then if I spin again, I get 3 5/10. Okay, and so if I add those two numbers, I'm actually glad I got this one, because now you could see 1,000 plus 3 5/10. Look at what it gives me. It gives me negative 996.5. And so you'll see that you actually are subtracting these numbers, not adding them. And then if I multiply them, negative 1,000 times 3 5/10, I get negative 3,500 or 3,500. So I did not deactivate the calculator on here. That was my mistake, because I actually wanted you to try to do it on your own, but it's okay, because this way you can also just analyze what the answer is and be like, oh, okay, so it's going to be a negative answer, or, this is what happened. So hopefully that is what you're doing and seeing that. All right, so I got stopped on this one, but I was just saying that for the diamond problems, we multiply to get the top number, and we add those two numbers to get the bottom number. So to add a half plus negative 1/3, when we're going to add fractions, we need to remember that the bottom number, which is called the denominator, needs to be the same. So the least or lowest common denominator for 2 and 3, basically which number do they both fit into, is 6. So when we do 2 times 3, that gives us 6. So then 2 times 3 is 6. And then because we multiplied 2 times 3, we also need to multiply the 1 times 3. So then we get 3/6, which is the same thing as 1/2. For the next one, 3 times 2 gives me 6. So then I get 6. And then 1 times 2 is 2. So 2 in my numerator. And I'm going to be a negative number. So then when we have 3 has over 6 plus negative 2 over 6, we are going to get 1/6, just because we're going to actually be subtracting 3 minus 2, which gives us 1. So that's what we get when we add them. Now, when we multiply them, so I'm going to move up here to multiply them, 1/2 times negative 1/3. When you multiply fractions, these you could just go straight across. What do I mean by that? This one you could just do 2 times 3, 2 times 3, which also gives you 6. And then you would do 1 times negative 1. So let me put a times up here. Okay, so you know. And so this one's going to give you negative 1/6. So it just so happened that for this problem, both of the answers are 1/6, except one's positive and one's negative. And for this one, you do need to find the common denominator. And this one actually gives it to you when you multiply them. All right, so moving on. Here, name something that these patterns have in common. So ideally, I would want you to look through. The main thing that stands out is basically the colors, right? So in this one, it's the black tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles are being added. Here too, the 4 tiles are being added on each end. And here, 4 tiles are being added. So all patterns are, all 3 patterns are growing by 4 for each here, okay? Identify a difference in these 3 patterns. So the difference is that they're obviously different patterns, right? They have a different shape, right? They are all different style, shape, design, whatever you want to put. And they also all start with a different figure 0. So the main thing that we're going to be paying attention to in this lesson is, and in the following lessons for this chapter, is the growth of the pattern, how the pattern is growing, and then figure 0, the number of tiles in figure 0. So pattern 1 has 2 tiles in figure 0. Pattern 2 has 1 tile in figure 0. And pattern 3 has 3 tiles. If I scroll down, it has 3 tiles in figure 0. So here, the only thing I would have you can type this in, or again, if I do this with you, I'll copy and paste it, or if Mrs. Vasquez does this with you, she will copy and paste it. But again, you can put it in your own words so that it's shorter. The other thing I just want to mention here is that on the test for this chapter, you will be expected to create figure 0 and figure 4. So I want you to think about how confident on a scale of 1 to 4 do you feel in correctly drawing figure 4 and figure 0 for patterns like this. I'm not going to give you the same pattern, but you're going to have to look at a pattern and be able to draw figure 0 and draw figures 4. Okay? All right, the equation for tile pattern 1 was y equals 4x plus 2. Use the rule to complete the table below. So I'm actually going to go to a Jamboard so that I can write on here. So for me, I want to think about, okay, what is this saying? What is that rule saying? Like, can you put it to me in words? And so basically what this is saying is that we're going to, let me go back. I was missing. What this is saying is that we're going to multiply x by 4 and add 2 to get y. So remember doing this when we were doing this in chapter 3, and you're like, huh? But when you were seeing tables and I was telling you what's the rule for this table, and we were translated into words. And so x and y are basically, in this case, the figure number and the number of tiles. So we're going to multiply x, which means all these numbers, by 4, and then add 2 to get y, so that we can get the number of tiles. So let's go ahead and do that. So I would do 0. So for 0, I would do 4 times 0 plus 2. Well, 4 times 0 is just 0, and 0 plus 2 equals 2. Okay? Now, in yours, you're not going to have to write all of this, okay? Just watch this with me, and then we'll go and type it into our slides. This is the only one that I'm going to be doing this for, so just pay attention. For 1, now we're going to do 4 times 1. What's 4 times 1? That's just 4. And then 4 plus 2, that equals to 6. Okay, so again, we're doing this rule, multiply by 4 and add 2. Now we're going to do it to the next thing. What's 4 times 2? That's 8. And 8 plus 2 equals 10. And then you keep doing it. 4 times 3 plus 2. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. Now, there's also another pattern that would help you, another pattern that would help you see or how to complete this table. And basically, if you look 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, what is it doing? It's just adding 4, right? 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. 6 plus 4 is 10. So that's another way to fill in the table, but it's telling you to use the rule. And so I want you to know how to use the rule. So let's go back to the slide, which is here. And so we said that there would be 2 tiles here, and then 6, and then 10, 14, and 18. So how do I know here, figure 0, if we go back to the pattern, the first one, here, it started with 2. So when you look at a rule, the number 2 is always going to be what you start with in figure 0. And then the number 4 is always going to be what you're adding by downwards. So do you see 2 plus 4, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 4? Now, why do we care about the rule? Because what about if they asked you, like in this question, how many tiles would a figure 100 have? Well, are you going to keep making this table and keep adding 4 until you get to 100? No. So you would have to use the rule. So you would have to do 400 times, let me enter the equation. 400, it's 4 times 100, not, I'm saying 400. 4 times 100 plus 2, which that's going to give you 402. So that's how many tiles figure 100 would have. How many tiles would figure 22 have? So you would do the same thing. 4 times 22, which gives you 88, okay, plus 2 equals 90. Again, if I made a mistake on any of these, because these you don't have the calculator, please let me know. I'm hoping I didn't, even though it's early in the morning. I hope I am doing these correctly. All right, so we're going to share, move on. And so you're going to continue to do this for the second equation or the second pattern. So now let's look at this equation. This one is y equals 4x plus 1. So again, what does this mean? This means we're going to multiply by 4 and add 1, okay? And then again, I want you to see, okay, here's a 1 right here, so that means that I'm going to start with 1. And if I go back to my pattern, you could see that it does start with 1. There's 0 tiles and figure 0. And again, you can use this, but it's telling you to use the equation because you're not always going to have the pattern drawn for you. So then I'm going to do 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. Then I'm going to do 4 times 2, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. 4 times 3, okay, that's 12. 12 plus 1, 13. And 4 times 4, 16, plus 1, 17. And again, you could see the pattern. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 4 is 17. So the pattern helps you fill it out faster. But you want to practice doing this because you're not always going to have a table that extends all the way to figure 100. So for figure 100, we would have to do, again, 4 times 100. 4 times 100, let me delete this other one, plus 1 equals 401. So now this one's asking you what figure number would have 121 tiles. So basically, what times 4 plus 1 gives you 121? So you could just start trying numbers and do like, okay, 50. What's 50 times 4? 50 times 4, that's 50 plus 50, that's 100 plus another 50, 150 plus another 50, that's 200. So that's too big. So the figure number is not 50. The other way you can think about it is just go backwards. So instead of multiplying by 4 and adding 1, you're going to subtract 1. So 121 minus 1, which equals 120. And then do 120. Instead of multiplying by 4, we're going to divide by 4. And that's going to give us 30. So figure 30 is the one that would have 121 tiles. Okay. The equation for tile pattern 3 was y equals 4x plus 3. Use that rule to complete the table below. Again, 3 is the number of tiles that are in figure 0, so I know that's going to be 3. If you just want to double check, let's do it. 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. Then we would do the next one. 4 times 1, that's 4, and 4 plus 3, that's 7. The next one is 4 times 2, that's 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 4 times 3, that's 12. 12 plus 3, that's 15. Okay. And now 4 times 4, that's 16. And 16 plus 3 is 19. So I'm going to create the Jamboard and have it for you as well, just so you could reference it if that's easier for you. So here, like when we were multiplying, if that makes it easier for you, I will do that for you as well. But I think this is a simple enough rule or equation for you to be able to do like in your head, right? So like 4 times 0 plus 1 equals 1. 4 times 1 plus 1 equals 5. 4 times 2 plus 1 equals 9. 4 times 3 plus 1 equals 13. And 4 times 4 plus 1 equals 17. Okay? All right. At this point, you may have found a way to fill out the table quickly. How did you fill it out quickly? So some of you were just adding 4, right? If you do 3 plus 4, 7. 7 plus 4 gives you 11. 11 plus 4 gives you 15. So if I add 4 to the number before I get, if I keep, or I'm just going to say if I add 4, it's faster to complete the table. Okay. That says the equation for the tile pattern is y equals 4x plus 3. Use the rule to find out what figure number would have 121 tiles. So again, we're going to go backwards for this one. So 121 minus 3. What's 121 minus 3? That's 118, right? You go backwards. Now, when you do 118 divided by 4, what's 118 divided by 4? Oops. You're not going to get a whole number, okay? And so I actually did this on purpose. Let's go ahead and, so you're going to get 118 divided by 4. Gives you 29.5. 29.5. So this is saying that 29.5, figure 29.5. Does that make sense, right? Can you create figure 29.5? And the answer is no, right? You cannot draw half of a figure. You cannot draw 29 figures and then half of a figure. It's like talking about people. You can't have 25 and a half people, which is not possible because we cannot draw or create 29 and a half figures. Okay. All right, and the last equation. The equation for a 4-tile pattern was y equals 2x plus 3. So what is this one saying? What rule? So I skipped down. What is this one saying in words? So this one is saying that we're going to multiply by 2 and add 3. Okay, so we're going to multiply x by 2 and add 3 to get y. So what we're going to do is, here's the 3. We're going to start with 3. If you want to check if that's correct, again, you just do 2 times 0. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 equals 3. Now I'm going to multiply 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 equals 5. Okay? 2 times 2 plus 3 equals 7. And if you keep going this way, it's just easier to fill it in, which is fine if you're doing that. I just need you to know how to do that. Okay, so let's fill it in. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. How many tiles would figure 100 have? 203 tiles. Because 2 times 100 is 200 and plus 3 is 203. Okay. The student said that if we continued making a table for this pattern, then figure 12 would have 31 tiles. Do you agree or respectfully disagree? Well, we need to figure out, would figure 12 have 31 tiles? Well, in order to figure out how many figure 12 would have, let's use our rule. So let's go back over here. So it's not on here, but we'll do it. So that means we're going to multiply x. X is our figure number. So y equals 2x plus 3. And then we know that x is 12 because that's the figure number. So then it's saying, does it have how many? 31. 31. So does y equal, I'm putting a question mark, 2 times 12 plus 3? 2 times 12 is what? 24. And 24 plus 3, is that 31? No, it's 27. So then we do not agree. So let's go back. We disagree respectfully because figure 12 should have 27 tiles according to the rule, or according to the equation. Yeah, if you multiply 2 times 12 and add 3, you get 27, not 31. Okay? All right, so now we're at the graphing. So tile pattern 1 has in the equation y equals 4. Graph the line created by the equation and table. So you're going to use the points right now. Remember that your figure number is the x and your number of tiles is the y. So 0, 2, you're going to start at 0 and then go up to 2 and put a point there. Then you're going to go to figure 1 and go up to 6. So some of you, I know it's easier if you drag the 6 and you're like, oh, 6 is right here, so then I'm going to put a point there, which is fine, but I just don't want to see that line afterwards, this one here, okay? So then the next one is figure 2 has 10. So for me, again, if it's easier, okay, here's 10, and I see that that's where I need to put my point, then that's fine. Then just delete this. And then figure 3 has 14, because then again, it can kind of get tricky when you're going up and getting further away from the y-axis to see exactly where your point should go. And so I'm just going to do that for now. 18 is over here because figure 4 has 18. So then I'm going to put a dot right there. So now that I have my points, all of them, I got them from here from the table. Now I can erase this line that I used to help me. And if that helps you, you can also do that. But then again, make sure to delete it. Then you're going to use the line tool to connect the points. Okay? You could keep it going and you can extend past the points, but I'm just going to do it there. Okay? When you go to the next slide, you're going to see the line you just created. So now we're going to create the one for the second pattern. And so the color, you can't change it, it's blue. So then you're going to do the same thing, go 0, or if it lets me, to 1, and then 1 up to 5, which is here. The next one is 2, 9. So again, if you want to do the line, you could. So here's 9. So I'm going to put a point there. But if you notice, oops, this is, if you notice, the points are actually right underneath the line. So my mouse is going kind of crazy. So you could just put the points underneath, and that's basically where it would go. So I messed up with this line right here because now I gotta be careful about do this again. Okay. All right, so there's my points for that one, and now I'm going to create my line. Okay. And now the next one, both of them are going to show up there. Now I'm going to graph this one. This is 0, 3, so I'm going to go up 3. The next one is 1, 7. So figure 1 has 7 tiles, so I'm going to go up to 7. And so you keep going and you'll see that this one is one above all of them. So that's why I'm graphing it so fast. But you want to check, which I am. So figure 1 has 7 tiles, and that's where that should be. Figure 2 has 11 tiles, so here's 11, and that's true. Figure 3 should have 15, and that's where 15 is. And then we have 4 comma 19. So that's where that is. So it's correct, okay? So now I'm going to delete those and I'm going to create my line. Again, if you're watching this and I'm going too fast, you can pause it and go at your own pace. I'm just hurrying up because I need to attend to my daughter. So, all right. So then we are at the fourth pattern, the one that has 2x plus 3. And so this one's going to be orange. And this one, we're going to start with 3 because 0, 3. So then if you notice, the green line started at 3. So you're just going to have to you're going to have to block it. The next one is 5. And if you notice, there's also another point there. There's the blue one. So you're going to have to block it. And then 2, 7. So then this one actually is not crossing anymore. Then I have 3, 9. So this one's going to be a little bit difficult. So I am going to go here. Okay, so now I kind of see where it's going to be. I'm not going to draw it because then I'm going to have to erase it. And that would be too complicated. So I think, see here, I made a mistake already. I made a mistake because that point was at 8 and it should be at 7. So it gets tricky when you don't do that guiding line. And then 4 has 11. So 11 is right here. You're going to go across to 4. And it's right there. Okay? So now you're going to watch your points. Okay. So I want to make note that these 3 lines are parallel lines. They're all going in the same direction. Can you think about why that is? Why are these going in the same direction, but this orange one is not? Okay. So why is this one different? So if you notice this one, how this one's different from the others is that this one's y equals 2x, which means that it's adding 2. All these other ones were adding by 4. And then this one starts at 3, and the other one also started at 3. That's why they started at the same. Okay? So we didn't get to these with my other classes, so we're going to stop there. This Get It credit does need to get done, so please try to do this. I'm going to create a Jamboard for it and add it to the assignment. So there's going to be a Get It credit assignment, and I'm going to create a Jamboard with the answers to this, but you do need to do this. You can call it extra credit if you want extra credit, which I hope all of you do, and it's practice for you, then please do this in your notebook on page R4. But you do not need to do this one. We're going to do it next week, and you do not need to do this one. So basically just slide 12 and then slide 15 in your notebook. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and all folks, have a wonderful day and have a wonderful weekend. Love you all. Bye.